Hello students, welcome again to our maths lesson, and today we are still continue with multiplication. The last week we learned about multiplication of decimal and whole numbers using multiples of 10, which is 100 and 1000. So today we are going to look into another multiplication strategy, which is called multiplication by doubling and halving. Remember, in multiplication, we have different strategies like the grid method, long multiplication, split method, or partitioning method. So today we want to look into this strategy of doubling and halving. Our lesson objective, we are learning how to use halving and doubling as a strategy for multiplication. Our success criteria, I know how to divide numbers by 2 and multiply numbers by 2 correctly. Those are your multiplication skills that you need to have during this lesson. So let's explore more. So the first thing we need to do, we are going to use multiplication arrays to explain the concept of doubling and halving. And one essential thing you need to know, let's explore on 4 times 5. So I'm going to have arrays here of 4 times 5. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are groups of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you check, I've drawn arrays of 4 in the vertical and 5 on the row to make 20. All of us know that 4 times 5 is 20. But how else can we rearrange this array to get the answer of 20? Let's do. So the first thing I'm going to do, I want to divide this into half. So I'm going to divide it with here, so that this part, I'm going to fix it here. So let me see, these are the parts I'm going to have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you check this kind of working, you see I can have it going downwards, where I have 4 going downs and 2 on the horizontal, or I can have the whole 10 of it on the horizontal and then 2 on the vertical. So I can also have 2 times 10, 2 times 10, and the answer still remain 20. And as we said also here, 4 times 5, if we use this type, this side, the answer still remains 20. So one thing it needs to tell you, when you're doing doubling and halving as a strategy for multiplication, the arrangement doesn't matter, but the answer will still remain the same. However much you arrange the arrays, the answer will still remain the same. So one thing you need to know is have one side of the multiplication as long as we double the other side and the answer remains the same. So let's look at this practically. Let's look at this practically using our numbers. So I have 25 times 16. Keywords here. H is for halving and D for doubling. We're going to make use of this. And then also, when you are doing this, look for even numbers to halve. You look for even number to halves. Remember, we learned odd and even numbers. So even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2 completely. So those are the numbers that you're going to halve, divide by 2. Then look for numbers ending in 5 to double. So I have 25 and 16. So what do I do? So it says look for even numbers to halve. So let's look here. So I'll draw an arrow to show that an arrow to show this also. So what does it say? It tells me look for numbers ending in 5 to double. So if I double 25, it's going to be 50. So 50. Then look for even numbers to halve. If I halve 16, means 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. Then my sign still remain. So the essential for this is we want to make our work easier, because 25 by 16 seems like a little bit hard for some people, but we can reduce it, we can take it down to make it more easier. Then we reach 50 times 8. Oh, somebody is saying, oh, 50 times 8 is something a little bit hard. Then you continue until you reach where you are very comfortable. So as I said here, we are going to, what have we done? 25 to 50, we have doubled it. So here we are going to have double, and 16 to 8 we have halve it. So I'm going to put an H to means halve. So I'm going to continue again. I continue until I reach a place where it's very easy. The arrows has to go for the same. Then this side we are still doubling. If you start with doubling, you can't change. So this side we are still doubling, and this side we are still halving. So 50, if you double 50, it means 50 times 2, I'm going to have 100 times, if you halve 8, which is 8 divided by 2, is going to be 4. And what's our answer? I guess 100 times 4 is a little easier, so it's going to be equal to 400 as our answer. It's the same way, if you work all through, even here 50 times 8, still the answer will still be 400, and even 25 times 16, the answer is still 400. Good. Let's check about this one. What do we think? We put our arrows for the same. So our instruction says look for even numbers to halve. So which number are we going to halve here? Our even number is 120. So it means we are going to divide 120 by 2, which is going to be 60. And then look for even numbers that end in 5 to double. So if I double 5, means 5 times 2 is going to be 10. So what we have here, you have to put what you've done. Here we've doubled. Here we've halved, so we are going to use H. And here we've doubled, so we are going to use a D. And 60 times 10 is pretty easy, so our answer is going to be 600, which is very easy. It's much easier to work with multiples of 10 than great. So anytime you are halving and doubling, you need to know that look for even numbers to halve, like even number is 16, 120, we have halved them. And look for numbers ending in 5 to double them. And the essential for doing this is to make our work easier. So when you go to slide 4, I need you to try this. Copy and show working on your notebook, then upload work on Google Classroom. I need to see the arrows for halving and the arrows for doubling. Do until you reach where it is very comfortable, it's very comfortable to work through. So with that, I wish you well. Do your practice. Pause the video, do your practice on your notebook, and upload the work. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.